guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, hello, my name is Victoria. I'm so glad to have you here today. If you are new here, I am currently pregnant with our first baby. We are having a little girl and I am due in April. I am currently 17 weeks pregnant. I'm about 17 and a half weeks pregnant right now. So I'm super excited. I'm feeling pretty good. I haven't given you guys much of an update on my pregnancy so far. If you follow me over on my Instagram, which if you don't, you should, I post on there quite frequently. I was a little bit absent my first trimester just because I wasn't feeling very great, and I was also hiding my pregnancy for the first little bit for most of my first trimester, so I wasn't really talking about it a whole lot. But now I am definitely sharing a lot of stuff about my pregnancy, posting little bump dates, sharing a lot of stories, asking a lot of questions, and just interacting with you guys about this pregnancy and just about my life in general. So if you don't follow me over there, you definitely should. I post a lot more on there than I do here on my YouTube channel. I hope that if you are new and this is your first video that you're watching of mine, that you will subscribe for more videos. And let's go ahead and get into today's video. So I'm gonna first go over like my first trimester and kind of give you like the lowdown on how that went for me. And like I said, I'm a first-time mom, so this is my first time experiencing pregnancy, and it's been definitely an adjustment for me. Lots of changes happening, obviously, but just going through it for the first time I think is a little bit different of an experience because you don't really know what to expect and you're kind of experiencing all these things for the first time. And so I think it's interesting to hear first-time moms' perspectives on like their first trimester and just pregnancy in general. So I'm excited to share this with you guys, and then after I go over my first trimester, I'm going to give you guys a little quick update of how I'm doing now because I am 17 weeks pregnant now. So I've been in my second trimester for about like what, 3 weeks now. In my last video I kind of gave you guys an update on how I felt leading up to my 5th week of pregnancy. So this will be more focused on like weeks 6 through 14 and then a little bit of an update of where I am today. So if you want to hear about that, let's go ahead and get into it. So starting with 6 weeks, I am part of a pregnancy Facebook group. I'm a part of a couple, and a lot of people on there had said like, oh, my nausea started right at 6 weeks. Well, I'm not kidding you guys. The morning I woke up that I was 6 weeks pregnant, my nausea hit me, and it was no fun. I still am currently having some nausea, so it still has not completely gone away, but I will say like the worst of it I think is over, and it may come back at the end, I don't know, but right now I'm feeling okay. So my nausea was very weird. I still consider myself to have had morning sickness. It's more like all day sickness, and I know a lot of people say that, but it's really true. Like my sickness would come at random times of the day. At first it wasn't usually when I first woke up, it was like throughout the middle of the day and a lot at bedtime. So I actually never threw up until my second trimester, which was really strange. I thought that I would throw up my first trimester, but I had horrible nausea my first trimester and I would gag all the time. I was nauseous like all the time. I had horrible, this is another thing, I had horrible smell aversions. I could not smell anything without feeling sick. I had to take out all of the candles in my house. I had to stop using plug-ins. I literally couldn't stand just the natural smell of my own house. I couldn't stand the smell of my dogs. Dog food made me gag. Like I couldn't feed the dogs. I still really don't ever feed the dogs anymore. I make Devin do it because I just can't smell their food. It's just like so disgusting to me right now, and it has been my whole pregnancy, but it's just like the weirdest thing. So the smell aversions cause me to gag all the time. So if this has been you before, like in pregnancy, or if this is currently you, let me know down below because it's just like so strange. But I would gag all the time and just like dry heave, which I know is like gross. This video is probably going to be a little TMI, but it's fine. It's a pregnancy video, so if you don't want to hear about this stuff, then don't watch. But I would have to go to the bathroom and like dry heave over the toilet, and nothing would ever come up, but like the smells that I would smell, just like taking out the trash, things like that, the smell just makes me want to throw up and I can't even take it. So just like doing dishes and taking out the trash and things like that, I really couldn't do. I'm a little bit tougher now. I feel like I can handle it more. Honestly, part of me feels like I just got used to the nausea and like the smell aversions. Like it became like a normal part of my day, and so I kind of got used to it. I don't really feel like it got much better. I just like was more used to it over time. But yeah, so I had that up until I would say around 10 weeks is when my nausea kind of slowed down a little bit. I still had it, but it wasn't nearly as bad as it was from like 6 to 10 weeks. And then it kind of came back at the start of my second trimester, which I'll get into later. But those were the first couple of things that I experienced. The second one, or the next thing that I'm going to talk about, is sore boobs. My boobs were so sore. I will say they are still sore now, but like now that I'm in the second trimester, it's not as bad. But the sore boobs were so real. It would be like when I would stand up and get out of bed in the morning, the gravity of just standing up from my boobs hurt. Like, that's how it was for me. And I do have a larger chest. I had a larger chest before getting pregnant. My boobs have since seemed to have doubled in size, but I've had to get bigger bras, and that was a big symptom in my first trimester, was my sore boobs. The next one was I had no appetite or cravings my first trimester. A lot of women say like, oh man, I'm like starving all the time, or I have to have this certain food. Like, I never wanted anything in particular. I ate pretty unhealthy my first trimester, I will be honest. I'm just now starting to like healthier foods again, which, if you know me, like, I do enjoy healthier foods. Not that I eat super healthy all the time, but I do enjoy like healthier foods, fruits, vegetables, things like that. But my first trimester, nothing ever sounded good. The only like healthy kind of food that I really liked was fruit, and I still really like fruit. That's been like kind of a food that I've really liked my whole pregnancy, which doesn't surprise me because I have always loved fruit, but that's like the healthiest thing I think that I really wanted my first trimester. But I couldn't hardly stomach anything, and even when I did eat, I like wouldn't eat very much. I definitely feel like this whole pregnancy I haven't really eaten more than usual. I haven't gotten to that point yet. So I actually lost weight in my first trimester, which I know sounds weird, and you may look at me and think that that's not true because it does look like I've gained weight. But I actually lost weight in my first trimester, so that was interesting. Something that I definitely did not expect. The bloating. The bloat was real, and I thought I had this huge baby bump right at the beginning, which, you know, I'm definitely not one of those people that's gonna tell people like, oh, it's not the baby, it's just bloat, like you don't have a bump yet, because I hate when people say that. I think it's so rude. Any type of bloating and like little belly that you have at the very beginning of pregnancy, whether it's bloat or not, is due to the baby. So in my mind, like, you know, it is a bump. But the way that I knew that it was bloat was just because it was like uncomfortable bloat, and I just, you know what bloat feels like. I just knew I was bloated, and I had no flat stomach by any means before getting pregnant. I've never had a flat stomach really, except when I was like in middle school maybe. But I always have had like a bloating problem. Like, I feel like I'm always bloated, and so the bloating was just like times 10. Like, some nights before bed I would be like uncomfortable because I felt so bloated. But the way that I knew that I went from bloat to belly, like a baby belly, was because it was like overnight. It was the weirdest thing. This is kind of jumping towards like how I'm doing right now in like my current pregnancy update, but at 15 weeks, I swear to you, Devin will tell you the same thing, overnight I woke up and I had like a baby bump. It was the weirdest thing, and it's more like rounded, like it just looks more like a baby bump than my bloating did. And it's like not hard, but your stomach does get a little bit harder. Not super hard, but you know what I mean. If you're pregnant, you know what I mean. And then I like couldn't suck it in, and I can't suck my stomach in anymore, obviously, because I'm like, I feel super pregnant now. But that's how I knew I went from like the bloat to the bump. So the bloat was super real. I had no motivation my first trimester, and I'm still kind of getting out of that. Like, I thought that I would like, you know, still be able to do laundry and like clean my house and get everything done that needed to get done. No, like I couldn't even force myself to do it. Like, things got majorly pushed back around the house, and Devin has thankfully like stepped up a lot and helped me. But I just seriously had no motivation, and I'm still kind of there. Like I still kind of have no motivation, but it's just like, it's not even like I was super tired. I felt a little bit of like exhaustion at the very, very beginning of my pregnancy, but then that kind of went away. I didn't feel like super tired all the time, but I definitely had no motivation to do anything. Like I never wanted to do laundry, never wanted to like clean up around the house or vacuum or do anything. And so it was really annoying because I just felt like I was always behind on everything. And then that takes me into my next topic, which is insomnia. I thought that I wouldn't have trouble sleeping until towards the end of pregnancy, when your belly is super big and you're like really uncomfortable. But no, my insomnia started right away. I even think I was having like insomnia right before I even found out I was pregnant, because I was having trouble sleeping every night, and I was blaming it on the dogs for a while, because I thought like, well, they're not used to this house. Like Marvin was never sleeping, and now I just feel like I was just having insomnia, and he probably does that every night and I just don't even know it. But I had such trouble sleeping, and it's gotten a lot better. But like seriously, I would wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, which yes, it is a thing. You can like wake up in the middle of the night in very early pregnancy to go to the bathroom. I think my app told me like, because your kidneys are expanding and things are just like stretching out, and so you have to pee more. So I thought that that wasn't a thing until like baby was really big, and then like they're sitting on your bladder. But no, it happens really early too. And so I was getting up to go to the bathroom, and then my problem was I couldn't fall back asleep. I never really had troubles falling asleep, but I had trouble staying asleep. And then I would be up for like hours at night, and then I would have to get up and go to work, because you guys know, like I said, I work full time. So I would have to get up, and I wake up really early for work. I have to wake up at like 5:30. So I would be up at like 3:30, 2:30, and I would be up for like an hour or two, and then by the time I had to get up for work, it was like I barely got any sleep, and it was so frustrating. Luckily that has gotten a lot better. I will say, if you guys are curious, I have not taken or been put on like any medication throughout my whole pregnancy. I never got like medication for my nausea, for my like sleep, insomnia, nothing like that. I just personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with taking medication during pregnancy at all. Like I'm not against it. And I'm definitely not shaming anybody else at all. Like you do what you want to do. But for me personally, for my first trimester, I really wanted to avoid taking anything at all other than my prenatals, obviously. So I do take my prenatals every day, but and I was able to stomach those my first trimester, so that was really good. But I took the gummy ones. So I didn't take anything for any of my issues my first trimester. The only thing I've taken since getting into my second trimester is I've taken Tylenol a few times, because I've been having these really bad headaches. But I am going to mention that to my doctor. I have an appointment on Friday for my like 18-week checkup, and I am going to see if they can like give me something, because Tylenol seems to not be really working. And yeah, I've been having like these insane like migraine type headaches, and it's been really awful. So I'm hoping they can help me with that. But other than that, I really didn't take anything for like my insomnia or anything like that. I kind of just dealt with it. It did get better in my second trimester when it started, but the insomnia was like probably one of my least favorite symptoms that I had. Like it was really awful. And then I have a couple other little things. Acne was something I had my first trimester. My skin actually looks really good right now. I do feel like I'm having a little bit of the pregnancy glow that people talk about, which is kind of nice. So my skin has been pretty good my second trimester so far, but the first trimester I did have quite a bit of acne. It wasn't horrible, but it was mostly like around my mouth, which is normally where I get it. I had a lot of it like right here by my eyebrow. It was the weirdest thing. And I actually have a scar from one of those pimples that kept coming back right here at the end of my eyebrow. It was so weird. But that was something that I experienced. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about for my first trimester is being out of breath. So being out of breath is something that I experienced throughout most of my first trimester, kind of towards the end of my first trimester, but it would especially be at work. So I work in a dental office, and so I'm in a chair working on patients, and of course I have to wear a mask all day. So wearing the mask all day does affect my like breathing a little bit, just because like I'm out of breath and then the mask makes me nauseous, and then like I'm breathing in my hot air, and it's just this like the worst thing ever. I hate it. But when I do certain appointments with patients where I have to talk a lot and explain a lot of things, like I am so out of breath by the end of it, and it's really funny because I don't know, it's just like funny to me. I'm like, I literally feel like I need to take a second to sit down. So that is how my first trimester went. Oh, you guys, I need to mention one more thing. This probably, I take back what I said about the insomnia. This may have been my #1 least favorite symptom of my pregnancy so far. And I don't want you guys to think I'm complaining in this video. Like, I love every bit of it and it's fine. Like, pregnancy is amazing. My first trimester wasn't super beautiful, I will say that. Like, I wasn't, you know, super excited to be feeling all of these things, but you know, I am thankful that like my body is growing a human, and it's really cool to see how our body goes through all these changes. Anyways, I know I don't need to explain myself, but this probably is like the least favorite thing that has been happening to me since I got pregnant, and it is my congestion, which you can probably tell that I don't know if I sound sick at all, but I truly think I have pregnancy rhinitis, which you can look it up. It's basically just like where you're super stuffed up all the time and you're sneezing and things like that. And guys, I always have a runny nose. I always am sneezing. I sneeze so much. Like throughout the day at work, I sneeze all the time. Also, I don't think that Marvin's dog hair really helps. Sherman doesn't really shed at all, but Marvin does. And I think that the dog hair has a lot to do with it. But just, I've been so congested. And when you get pregnant, like everything swells up. And so you just like have a lot of congestion and stuff like that. And I'm sure not everybody experiences it, but that is something that I have had. And it's been like the worst thing ever because I constantly wake up in the morning and I like have to blow my nose. I'm always sneezing. I feel like I can't breathe. It's horrible. So that's all I'm going to say about my first trimester. And I'm now going to go into like a little quick current pregnancy update. So I want to talk about feeling her move. So I started feeling flutters, I would say. I know this sounds crazy because I am a first-time mom, and usually first-time moms don't feel movement until much later because you don't really know what it feels like. But I just feel like because of all of the things I've read and seen, like I kind of knew what to expect when I would feel her move for the first time. So I started feeling very light flutters, I would say around 12 or 13 weeks, which I know is really early, but I've heard a lot of other girls say that they have experienced the same thing. And then I feel pretty consistent movement with her. She feels to me to be pretty active. Like I feel like I feel her move a lot. And I haven't felt, I don't know if I felt it yet. There was a day at work last week, so I was about 16 and a half weeks pregnant, and I was working on a patient, and I like turned to grab an instrument off of my tray, and I felt like almost like the patient had like lightly elbowed me in the stomach, and I like turned around really fast and I looked at him, and he like couldn't talk because he had all the suction in his mouth. And afterwards, when I took all the suction out, he said, "I thought you poked yourself," because I like jumped and it felt like almost right by my belly button. It almost felt like a zap, like she was like boom kicking me. And so I feel like I felt her kick at that point, but I'm not really sure. Okay, I just had to start a new recording because I talked for so long. So anyways, I feel like I felt her kick, but I'm totally not sure if that's what it was. But I definitely do feel her move, and it's usually like around my belly button area or like lower to the right or the left. Sometimes it's like up where my belly button is, like the line right there. But I do feel her move, which is so amazing. And like I said, I feel like I definitely popped around 15 weeks. Now, some women don't show that early, but I just feel like because I am 4'11", my belly has nowhere to go but out. Like I have a pretty short torso, so I just feel like my belly had nowhere else to go but straight out. So I feel like that's why I kind of popped a little bit earlier than some people do, but that was really exciting for me, and I'll show you guys my belly at the very end. But I feel like I just am loving pregnancy so much more now, like currently, because you know I have a bump now. I feel like, you know, when you're in your first trimester and you don't really have a bump, it's hard because like you feel so sick and you're going through all these changes, and it's like almost like you feel like you have nothing to show for it. And I know that sounds funny, but if you're pregnant, maybe you know what I mean. So just having like a bump and like feeling her move and wiggle around is just so amazing, and it makes it feel like all worth it, and I just love it. Devin hasn't felt her move yet, but every time she does something, or like every time I feel something, like I always explain it to him to make him feel kind of like included in it. But he just thinks like, ooh, it just makes him kind of like cringe a little bit. He's like, oh, I can't imagine like something inside of you moving, and it's the weirdest feeling, but that's how I've been feeling. I've been feeling pretty good. Some other things I wrote down are an itchy belly. I've been having a super itchy stomach, especially like at work and stuff. I feel like I'm always itching my belly. And I've been trying to put lotion on and stuff like that. I haven't really noticed any stretch marks yet, but I'm sure they will come. I am only 17 weeks. I am expecting to get stretch marks. My mom has stretch marks from when she was pregnant, and I just figure that I'll probably be the same way. Especially since I am pretty small. I just feel like my belly's gonna probably get pretty big and I will probably get stretch marks, so I'm totally okay with that. I'm not doing anything crazy to prevent them. I am putting lotion on when I take a shower, but other than that, I'm not really doing anything crazy. You know, I feel like if you're gonna get them, you're gonna get them, and it is what it is. So that's how I feel about that. I am still feeling a little bit of nausea, and it's usually in the afternoons, like when I'm on my way home from work. And yesterday on my way home from work, I kind of felt like I almost needed to pull over because I felt like I was gonna throw up. Like I mentioned earlier, I did start vomiting in my second trimester. I threw up only a few times right at about like 14, 15 weeks, but it was so weird. It was like, I don't know why I threw up, because it was the same type of nausea I felt like in my first trimester, but I started vomiting a little bit. But thankfully that's kind of gone away. I haven't really thrown up since. And I am starting to have like some cravings. Food is starting to sound like better to me. I feel like I'm eating more like normal amounts of food, and I'm eating a little bit healthier. I'm trying to incorporate like healthier foods into my diet. And so Pop-Tarts, speaking of healthy food, Pop-Tarts are one of my current cravings, and cereal. Those are two things that I've been loving lately, and I also have been really loving juice and fruit. So juice and fruit are two things that I love. Every week when I go to the store, I always get like a different juice to try. I had like this orange pineapple juice that I really liked. I got a cranberry apple juice that I really loved. I was really loving apple cider. But I haven't had like many consistent cravings like for long periods of time. It's usually just like things here and there where I'll think about something and I'm like, oh, that sounds so good, and then I'll get it at the store, and then like once it's gone, like I'm kind of over it. That was the deal with me with cup of noodles, like, you know, like the cup of noodles that you can get, like the ramen noodles at the store. Another thing is that I've been getting really tired lately, so I've been just feeling like extra tired, where I just feel like I need to go to bed early, and even when I get a lot of sleep, like I still feel tired when I wake up. And so I've really been trying to let myself rest on my days off, and on the weekends I really like, if I want to take a nap, I try to take a nap, because I'm just trying to like listen to my body, and if I feel tired, like I try to let my body rest when I feel tired. We've been taking naps after church on Sundays, and it's been so nice. And so yeah, I've been trying to rest more, but I've been feeling really tired. And at night when I wake up, I always have to go to the bathroom at night. It's usually like 1 to 2 times, but it's just like, you know, so annoying to have to get up and go to the bathroom. But it's literally like when I wake up, I am in pain. I have to pee so bad. Like, I peed a lot just like as a normal non-pregnant person, and now as a pregnant person, like I pee so much. And yeah, I just, getting up to pee in the middle of the night is something that I've been experiencing in my second trimester, and it's super annoying. But I am able to go back to sleep. The insomnia has not really been that bad this trimester so far. I know I'm only, you know, a few weeks in, but I have been able to sleep pretty well. Another thing is that I've been really clingy with Devin. I don't know if he would agree with this or not, but before getting pregnant, like I'm not a super touchy-feely person. The only person I really get like that with is Devin. And even then it's like not like a whole lot. Like I don't need to be touching him all the time. That's just not my personality. And so I just feel like lately I've been like so in love with him, and I want to cuddle with him all the time, and I just want to be with him, and I just like want to touch him all the time. And so I've been feeling that lately, which I think is really funny. And then like I mentioned earlier, my skin has cleared up, which is really nice. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I don't really have anything else I want to talk about. I went through everything on this list. So I guess I'll show you guys my belly. So I'm currently on my bed, and I will sit up for you guys. I have this like maternity shirt on. Let me move the camera so you guys can see better. Okay, so I have this maternity shirt on. This is from Target. It says worth the wait, and the little thing right here is a heart. Super cute. So like I said, I'm 17 weeks and a few days. So this is my belly from the front. I have these maternity like sweatpants on from Amazon. I really like them. I love things that go over the belly. And this is my belly from the side. Sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable here. Yeah, that's me when I let it out like all the way. I mean, I can kind of like go like this a little bit, but this is like the most comfortable for me, and this is like what my belly looks like with my shirt on. I love my belly. I think it's so cute, and I just love her so much. And yeah, this is what my belly's looking like at 17 weeks pregnant. So let me know down below what your bumps look like. Send me pics on Instagram. I love seeing people's little bump dates. Sorry, I'm out of breath like I said. But anyways, I'm not going to put the camera back up where it was before. I'll just end the video here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I hope you will come back for more pregnancy related videos. I know this was a long one. You know what? Most of my videos are long. I like to talk a lot. So if you like that, stick around. If you don't, this might not be the channel for you. Let me know in the comments down below what other pregnancy related videos you want to see. If you are pregnant, let me know how far along you are down below, and if you are having any of the same symptoms I'm having or any different ones that you want to share. And yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!